The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of ParaX, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
It's coming.
All these voices. All these voices.
They're mine. They're not yours. You had no right to them when you were alive, and you have no right to them when you're dead. Did you say who? That's what it sounded like. Good, you know who I am. And then you know I'm not playing. You're going to let those women go. In Jesus' name, you're going to let those women go.
Is there a demon here watching us right now? Or just watching us right now?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Staring into the Abyss. I am your host, horror author James Hershey Jr., and with me, as always, my co-host, old boy James Ash. How you doing, brother?
Good evening, sugar ladies, misfits, and motherfuckers. It's old boy from Staring into the Abyss. Hello. Yes, I got piercings in the ears and a haircut, so I look all Vikingish again. And I don't have stalkers coming after me. This being said, so we did the show a while ago. I think it was last year or the end of the year, about the aliens that crashed in Vegas and were hiding behind the fence, the Kenmore family. And there wasn't a lot of talk about it for a while, almost a year. And now it's come out. They had experts, Scott Ryder, I think his name is Rotter, who does a lot of criminal cases, actually said there's two beings over 8 feet tall with cloaking device, like a cloaking device. That's what he's saying. You could see their shadows. So he's an expert of seeing stuff behind a fence, and he showed it. You could see there's two things. They're not fucking lying. He's saying this is actual. This is an expert in this, and said there's something there. And you can see the head, and it's over 8 feet tall, because they show the Kenmore family. I think the one guy's 6'2" or 3", and the other ones are a little shorter. This thing's fucking huge. The fence is huge. It's like an 8-foot fence, and the thing's looking over 7.5, 6'1.5" or something like, I don't know. Fence is huge. And you can see the fucking things over the fence with its head. And you can see like a cloaking, something like it. It looks like, I don't want to say, not like a predator, but like, like what you would think is a cloaking device. Now, what do I think it is? I will get to that, because we did the show before, and now we're doing the second part, because I knew it was real. They were trying to shut it up. And, yeah, I got the ponytail going too. The Viking tail. I'm going to look all Vikingish now. My wife likes it, and the girls we talk to like it. But that being said, what do I think? And I'll get into this, and James can talk a little bit about it. I know he is. He has his opinions on it. We weren't going to do the show, then another thing came up, and it's been like one of the big things they're talking about, other than other stuff, but I mean, paranormal-wise and alien-wise and paranormal, crypto. This is something a lot of people are talking about, so I figured let's fucking do it again, and we're talking about aliens, because sometimes I like doing something about aliens. We don't do a lot, too much, and now we've been, so let's go, today. Do I think, after hearing a expert, and you could see things, and you're looking for things, and these people, okay, like say this, say that we're sitting here right here, and I'm switching my phone over, there's stuff in the background, but you're looking for that picture. If you see something at a certain size, and a shadow, you could see it made it, but it only does 100%. He was saying it's 33. So it's some reason it makes some kind of weird shadow, and he was explaining it. Because like I said, it's very scientific. It's more, James will probably be able to explain it more than I can. Because I was listening to some of the article, and it was actually a live thing he was talking about on the news. That's why we chose to do this one. I think he's telling the truth. A guy does a lot of stuff about murders and criminal things, and he has to see where people are at, and he knows how to measure, and you could see where he outlined it. There's an outline person. He did it where you could do it. He did it professionally, and there are a lot of people doing it, a lot of scientists agreeing with him. There was something there. I think, I'm going to get it. Aliens are real, guys. Yeah, just get over it. Start realizing it. They're not demons. I know people think that. They're not. They're either from another planet, or they're from another dimension, or a part of our dimension, another world that is here. If you know what I mean, it's kind of like Planet of the Apes. Maybe they're from the future, like how that is. Like but maybe it's in another dimension. Like I think we're in another dimension that we weren't in from 2000. I think something happened. They were messing with stuff then, and it happened. And I think we're stuck. That's why things are so negative. There's a very negative situation going on in the world right now. Not very positive. Everybody's very negative, and I get it. There's a lot of bad things going on, a lot of wars, biblical, whatever's going on, you know, whatever you believe. Hopefully we can get over this stuff. And I think we will, because we've always had issues worse than this. But it's getting bad. But the aliens do exist. I believe this is something that happened. Cops seen them fall from the sky when they crashed. Too many people saw what happened. They can't hide it no more. They made them shut up. I know that they were told what not to say, the Kenmore family. And there was like 10 of them, dude. And there's neighbors. There's like 20 people. The cops seen it. They even admitted it. When it fell, there's hundreds of people saw it. It's not something that just didn't happen, and it's not, just like Roswell. They covered that up and said it was a balloon. It broke. Come on, guys. Quit believing things that you know are not. It's true. You know they're just saying this so they don't tell us the truth. They still haven't admitted to anything. They're just saying there's a possibility now. There's a possibility of alien phenomenon, is what they're calling it. Or what do they say? Being phenomenon or something they were saying on TV I saw. And, sorry, itch my leg. And I think it's a bunch of horse shit. And I think that you don't believe, I'm sorry, I know there's something there. I don't care anymore. I don't care if you think I'm crazy. I don't give a fuck what you think. Aliens are real. Most people believe it. And I think in the video, those are what we saw. And I think what's going on in Miami, because we haven't got to talk about that. You know, there was a riot going on. I saw that. And then they said there was aliens. And then they're saying, there's still people saying that happened. And there was 9 feet aliens. It was this earlier this year. I think it was. And then there was really fireworks getting shot. That's what they claimed. I think it was in Miami or Tampa, somewhere in Florida this year, or the beginning of the year. A bunch of kids acting stupid. That did happen. There was a bunch of kids acting stupid and lighting fireworks. But there was other things that happened that night. They show a giant fucking 7-foot thing walking. I don't know what you want to call it. Being. And I think there was more than that. I think we're getting slowly, not invaded, but they're coming and they're just not going to care. And I think we're just going to get caught off guard again, like we always do. We pretend that there's nothing there, and when there is. And I think that's what's going to happen soon. And there's not going to be too much excuses to say what it is. I know what it is. You know what it is. People in that video know what it is. The people who saw what it is. And the guy that's doing the expert knows what it is. The government knows what it is. The governments all know what's going on. They just don't want to admit to it because they're scared that we're not going to listen to them anymore. Who would? Doesn't mean the world's going to end because aliens are here, or beings, or whatever you want to call them. Aliens, Greys, Star Childs, the Anunnaki, the Anunnaki, the Nephilim. Those are different, though. That's something different. It's a whole different thing. Some people believe those are the fallen angels. Some people believe they're from the planet Naboo, Planet X, whatever you want to call them. That's a whole nother story, but people think there are aliens and some people don't. Some think they're the fallen angels. That being said, that's a whole nother biblical story we got to do about the Nephilim we have. Check it out. I do want to do about the Anunnaki one day. That would be interesting. Interesting show. Very least. That's gonna be a good show. James, we got to do the Anunnaki. I'm probably saying the word wrong, but Anunnaki or Anunnaki. I don't. You know how I butcher words, motherfuckers. You know how I talk. And if you've listened to the show, you know I fuck things up with my speeches sometimes. I've always had an issue with that, guys. I've done since school. I say things sometimes too fast, or I just can't say the word. Like, it took me forever to say the word ambulance. I used to say ambulance. I couldn't say it. There's some words I can't say. I cannot say R's were shit. like chili rellenos, rellenos, rellenos. My wife laughs at me because she's from El Salvador and she can roll her R's. Fuck, Latino thing. Fucking food. I love Mexican food, guys. I don't like Italian food. My wife likes it. I love Mexican food. I love tacos. I like enchiladas. I like taquitos, tamales. Fuck. I could be here all day. Burritos. Actually, I'm not a big fan of burritos. Some people like burritos. I don't like them. Empanadas, and my wife's from, like I said, that's an El Salvador thing. Pupusas, that's another El Salvador thing. Bomb. Tortas, stuff like that. I love Mexican food. I love Latino women, married women. Now, and that's just my preference. Nothing. I love all women, but I mean that's what I have. I just have an attraction to Latino women, married women. But I love them. I mean, I love Mexican food, and that's just how I am. It's weird. But getting out of that, and not fucking Taco Bell. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Whoever voted Taco Bell sucks. I guess if you live out of California, I get it. And maybe you don't live in Texas in this part of the country. Taco Bell sucks. Del Taco's better than fucking Taco Bell. I hate Taco Bell. Oh, Taco Bell sucks. Mexican food's so bomb in California because where I'm at, Mexico makes the best Mexican food. Sorry, I've had it in Tijuana. It was bomb. There's probably better places, and just better. But fuck Taco Bell. Sorry, I don't care. I know James loves that place. I'm sorry. Go eat your fucking fake burritos and fake fucking watered tacos. I have a family member work for them, and I know all about them. And a lot of it's water-based shit and fucking not even real. Other than that, I don't want to get into that because somebody's going to get mad, and I don't give a fuck. You guys are going to be pissed when we start doing We're Screwed. Oops, I slipped that one out. I'll tell you that in a little bit, too, in this show. But get to the point is, I think aliens do exist. I think that's what's going on. I think they got to quit hiding it. I think people already pretty much believe it. I think there's just a small people, and I think most of those people just are scared. I think they're scared that something's going to be different than what they thought was going to happen in the world, and a lot of people do believe there's nothing there, and it's all just fantasy, and we're just normal people, and there's nothing else going on. But they can't explain when other things happen. They'll just make excuses about it. And like I said, I do something that I used to not believe. I didn't believe in this shit, and now I do. I believe that monsters exist. I've always been a big fan of monsters, like always. But aliens, Ghost at one time I did till I was like 5, and I realized I had a certain gift. I could see things, and I never told my parents because they never listened anyway. They don't listen. My parents, I love them, but they were very hard to talk to sometimes, and that's about all I'll say that because I don't like getting into my personal life. But it was hard to talk to people because I was not no more. My real dad I have 3 sisters. I think. I met one of them. I don't know where the other 2 are. But I never met my real dad. He's not my dad. He was just a person that brought me into the world. My mom and my real dad that I consider took care of me. And that's how it goes. Other than that, but I had a very lonely childhood sometimes. And it's not too bad now, but it's very hard for me to show emotion. A lot of bad things happen to me in my life. And I'm not a very, emotional guy. So, and it is what it is. But, yeah. Out of that part, now you guys know a little bit about Old Boy. And I think that once we realize that aliens do exist, I think you'll be a lot better. I don't know why people are so worried. I think a lot of it's fear in movies. I think movies really, and the sad thing is, I love these movies, like The Thing from 1951, and It Came from Outer Space, and what else is there? Sorry guys. All the other movies. God, there's so many. The Thing remake, those were great, but they always portrayed aliens as bad, except when the world stood still, when the alien was actually good and we fucking accidentally shot him and showed you how ignorant we were. And that's just how humans are. For some reason, we try to destroy what we don't know because that makes it go away. I think this is a thing about human beings. Even if they can get away with lying, they'll do it. Just so the truth doesn't ever get out. Because like I said, the truth is too much for people. It's better to keep things the way they are, hint, hint, than change it. Taking people out, killing them, trying to change the system. It's better on to let them get fucked. Or later on they'll catch it and too late to do anything about it now. Than worry about it. And there's certain people who actually, I believe that's how the world runs. People would rather you dream and think everything's alright. But then when they show it on TV, everything's horrible. They do it for purpose to keep you fucking hating everyone. So you can hate them. And that's as far as I'm going to go on that. And I think they want us to hate aliens and be in fear. Because when we come here and they're not what we think, and they're just here to help us, we're going to probably fuck them over. Like, Alien Nation, where, they start doing drugs. I don't think all aliens are bad. I think there's 90% of them probably good. There's always 10%. They hate everything. They probably want to destroy other races of people or beings or creatures or aliens. Or whatever. And I think that maybe sometimes we should shut the fuck up and mind our own business on things. And I think that's what the problem is with human beings. We like to find out things we shouldn't be playing with. But that's just us. If we get told not to do something, we do it. If you read the Bible, we got told not to eat the apple from the tree. We did. Look at us now, if you believe that. I have my opinions on that, but we fuck up everything, dude, if you think about it. It's just how we are. And that's not a bad thing. We're just curious, fearful beings. That we don't like to be out of our comfort zone. Some people do, but majority of people don't. They like comfort or being lied to. And it's better off to be lied to than know the truth. And aliens is a truth that people don't want to deal with. They keep forgetting we live in a giant pebble and there's millions of planets everywhere. And it takes us down a notch that we're not special. There's other things out there. We're not the smartest beings in the universe. And that's why I think a lot of people are afraid. Because I would be too. Think about it. Wouldn't you be afraid too? And again, if you look, I'm going to do this. If you look at my beard, it looks like I don't have arms. I told you about this, and it's like a leg, like a Bigfoot walking. You know how he walks? Look, I'm going to do it. If you guys could see it, it kind of looks like that. It looks like Bigfoot in a light walking. But I think that's cool because, Bigfoot's one of my favorite. But just throw that out there. I just noticed that again. But I think that we would change everything. And I think that's what people are afraid of. Is all this shit that you guys been worried about isn't something to be worried about anymore. What if that's the truth? What if all these years the shit that you believe isn't real? Or if it is? Just like I said, we're not going to ever know everything, guys, and we're never going to. We try to pretend we do. We don't know shit. We know 1% of 1% of 1% of 1% of something, we probably going to get thrown off even another curveball, sorry. And that's what happens. We're meant to do this. We're not meant to find out everything, and we're never going to. We could read 1,000 books and only learn one word. I don't know if you ever heard that one. So that's what we do. We read 1,000 books and learn one word. And most of you people probably going to understand that. And that's how I am. I'm a realist. Reality is that there's other beings other than us. We don't know what the fuck they are. Some people do, but they're never going to admit to it. But we have an idea. We have an idea that there's different beings from different planets that are probably coming here all the time. We just our technology's just got better than it's ever been. Everybody thinks their religion's right or their belief is real and everybody else is wrong. Man, I feel sorry for the world. This could have been a whole different world if things would have been different. But we're human. Nothing you can do about that. And there's nothing, I don't think, there's some people who don't want to do nothing about it. They would rather live a normal life. And there's nothing wrong with that. I get it. Who wouldn't want to live a life of peacefulness? I mean, you're never going to have 100% perfect. But there's some people who just live the normal life and there's nothing wrong with it. That would be a dream. But to me, it's boring. But I'm envious because I love my life being crazy, but there's an envious part of me that wishes it was just normal. But nothing's really normal. And normal, I mean, is I don't have the stuff that I have going on, but I don't think it would have been me. I don't think that was my path. James is, another one's like normal. James lives a pretty normal life. He has his issues and stuff that goes on, and with the ghost stuff, that's a little crazy. But he lives a little different life, so he's a little different, but he likes it that way. I like the life I have. I'm chaos. With a little bit of love and peace, but then some more chaos. That's what my wife is. My wife is peace. She has a little bit of chaos, trust me, but chaos. Fire. Hey, butthead. I'm just playing. It's just that to get you guys to laugh. I do think, though, that was what that is. There's aliens in that picture. Cloaking device, that's kind of cool. Fuck, if they're using that, they're so fucking far beyond us that we ever thought. Fucking cloaking. Imagine if we get one of those. That'd be so cool. I would want a cloaking device. That would be badass. Just go fucking hide. Go, hey. I tried to be funny so you guys laughed. I do want to say something. We are talking about doing Worth Screwed again. If you guys know who Worth Screwed is, that was my original show. After Revolution Radio, James did it and a couple other people did. And we're talking about doing, it's very controversial. It has nothing to do with paranormal. We will talk about some of the stuff, but we're going to talk about everything. Politics, we're going to go offend people again. And people are probably not going to we're not going to do it on Parax Radio probably. We're probably going to do it something else. But I'm going to talk about that, and that's what I was going to say a little bit about that show. If we do it, it's going to be very controversial like it was before. But it's very fucking got a cult following, and I hardly ever gone in. There's over 1,000 people, and people liking it still. It's crazy. My mind's fucking weird. Just like James did. This is crazy. James wanted to do the Paranormal Roundtable 7 years ago, and now they have a Paranormal Roundtable. I wanted to do a show called, I forgot what it was. It was a great concept. It was different people's beliefs, and we had two people talking about two different things. We had one was James. He was a Republican, and I had an ex-girlfriend that was a Democrat. And they both had their things, and they talked. Then I had James, white man, and Ant-Man was African American, and they talked about their difference. It was a great show. And it just too controversial then, because a lot of stuff was going on. But we did a couple shows, but I decided to do this, the Worst Screwed. And then we made up Staring into the Abyss, and it blew up. And we're still going to always do Staring, because we love Staring in the crypto. But Worst Screwed needs to be done. There's a lot of shit that needs to be said. I need to fucking say what I need to say, and so does James and Andy. You'll be seeing Andy soon. But other than that being said, you need that back. You need to hear what is up, motherfuckers, misfits, and sugar ladies. It's old boy. He's coming back. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I did a quick thing real quick with James. I hope, James, I know you're going to laugh about what I was saying earlier. But I do believe that is true. I think the video is real. If you look at it, I think people still think we're too dumb to know the truth. And we should know the truth. We don't have a right to. They should, because they're higher and mighty than we are, and that's just how they fucking think. Wait till we're screwed, because I'm going to say a lot of shit. Ooh, I'm going to say a lot of shit. So is James. Can't wait. But that being said, you guys like what we're talking about? Please tell us suggestions on shows. Tell us the comments. We always like that. Please don't fight. Please don't stalk me. Don't stalk James. If you love us, we love you too. But again, I'm not here because you think that I'm going to be your soulmate or James is your soulmate, and you think because you fell in love with our personalities. Trust me, we're happily married. Unless you're a pretty girl on my side and you like me and my wife, I don't talk to you then. It's a whole different story. And I've already told you guys how I live my life, and I don't give a fuck if you think anything different. Am I going to go to bed tonight? Yes, I'm fucking am. That being said, I love you guys. Old boy out, misfits. Blessed be you, bitches.
Thank you, brother. Okay, screw the science for a minute. Because those are fighting words, old boy. Fuck Taco Bell? Taco Bell sucks? Come on, bro. Taco Bell is one of my favorite places, man, when I want Mexican food. Old boy and me have this debate all the time because he is from California, and California Mexican food is a lot different than the Mexican food that I grew up on. So when I came back to the States after I was in Germany, I lived in San Antonio. So my idea of Mexican food is more of a Tex-Mex kind of Frito pie type of Mexican food. And that's more in line with what Taco Bell is. Old boy likes the California version of Mexican food, which is more upscale, more clean, more high class type dining than Tex-Mex. Tex-Mex is, like I said, Frito pie, carne asada, just easy cheesy, beans, meat, tortilla, cheese. That's it. You know, yeah, you got your lettuce, your tomato, sour cream, all that jazz can be thrown in, but it's the same couple ingredients over and over and over again. That's pretty much what Mexican food is in the majority of the country. Now, like I said, California is a little bit different. They got that highfalutin, that highfalutin Mexican food. But anyway, I guess we have to kind of cover the science a little bit at least. So old boy brought up this Las Vegas thing again. And he sent me to an article by the New York Post. And so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of take a look at the video that was included in the article. And the guy that is making the statements is a guy that's worked on different criminal investigations. He's supposedly an expert in whether footage has been tampered with or whether there is something in the footage that most people aren't seeing. That's kind of what he does. Old boy was right. He has been called in on multiple criminal cases, and he has testified before. So he would be qualified, at least in the eyes of the law, as an expert. So I think what we'll do first is we'll take a look at this footage. And then after we watch the footage, I'll talk a little bit during it, but mainly we're going to watch it. I have to talk a little bit during it because we're on the radio. And the people on the radio that are listening, like a huge amount of the audience, is not going to be able to see the footage because they're not watching the video on YouTube or Rumble or, anything like that. They're either on Spotify or they're on ParaX or they're on one of the radio affiliates. So they're not going to be able to see the video. So I'm going to kind of have to talk through it a little bit so that it's not dead air. Because on some affiliates, if you have dead air for too long, it automatically cuts your show off and takes you to like a best of episode. And that would suck because then the episode would be over. So I kind of got to keep running my mouth a little bit. I can't have too much dead air. But for those of you watching on YouTube and Rumble, you'll be able to actually see this video as we present it. And for those listening on Spotify or the radio or any of our radio affiliates or anything like that, hey, go check out the YouTube channel, youtube.com/James Hershey Jr., and then you too can watch the video. Shameless plug. Numero uno. I got to get them in every once in a while. So without further ado, without any more gum flapping, let's get to this video and check it out. And then on the other side of it, I'll kind of go into a little bit more. All right, so here is the footage from the New York Post. Now, if you look right where that arrow is pointing, that's where supposedly the one alien is. And then if you look up here on the right, see that smudge coming across the top of the screen there? That little blurry section that the arrow's pointing to now? That is supposed to be the second alien that is using some sort of cloaking thing. Now that it's pointed out to you and you can see it, right? It looks like it might be some kind of head, but pay attention. See the green of the alien head? That is not what the smudge looked like. And the one below it doesn't look like that either. Not the smudge. It's a shape drawn onto it that is making it appear that way. The one above the fence did kind of look like an alien's head. I'll give you that. You know, but we don't know for sure what it is because it was mainly smudged. But up to you to make up your own mind. Okay, so there was the footage. You saw it. Basically, what this guy is doing is he's taking some blurry parts of the video and he's kind of outlining a shape of the blurry part. And he is saying that that is an alien in two separate parts of the video. There's one that looks like it's wearing some kind of weird cloak thing with a big collar, like from Mars Attacks. That's straight ahead of the gentleman. And then on the other side of the fence, kind of peering over the fence, is a big bulbous type head that supposedly walks up and turns and looks at you. That's what he's outlined. In reality, all we really see is blur. Now, he's claiming the reason all we can see is blur and not aliens is because they have a cloaking device. And this is being called evidence. It's being called proof that the aliens are real. I don't want to burst your bubble. You know, I don't want to be the Debbie Downer here and piss all over your Wheaties. I don't want to do that. But in all reality, it's not proof of anything. It's just proof that there's some blurry stuff in the film. That's all it is. There's absolutely no evidence other than the fact that there's a blur that there's any type of cloaking device being utilized. This guy is not an expert in alien cloaking devices to be able to tell us exactly what they look like. It's just a guess on his part. He's just talking out of his ass. He has no actual evidence other than blur on the video. That blur could be caused by multiple different things. It could be caused by the fact that it's dark outside and there's a lot of light shining. So you're going to get some distortion and some blur when that happens. Okay, I'm not saying it wasn't aliens. Okay, don't get me wrong. It could have been. Who knows? But I'm saying we don't have concrete evidence of this, and that's what is being claimed here. It's what has got old boy's britches on fire here, where he's all fired up and going hog wild on it. Because he's like, hey, we got evidence here, but I don't see it that way. Once again, not saying that it is not aliens. I have no idea. I wasn't there. I didn't see it myself. I don't know what it is. But let me give you an example that might help you to understand what's going on here. On a lot of investigations, ghost investigations, right? Paranormal investigations. For quite a while, there was this thing that became very, very popular of taking a part of like an Xbox, I think it was the Kinect, that shoots a laser out and maps your form, and hooking that up to cameras and stuff to make it so that you could see ghosts, right? You've all seen the videos where they're filming a room or filming something, and then you see like a animated stick figure come onto the screen. And basically it's just a bunch of glowing lines that make a stick figure. And on these videos, they'll be dancing and they'll be moving around and waving to you, doing all kinds of stuff, right? And this, for quite a while in the paranormal community was viewed as absolute proof that not only do ghosts exist, but that they had captured one on camera. And you had everybody doing it. I mean, you had the big guys doing it on the TV shows. You had the little guys who were, pretending to be the big guys, who were copying what the big guys were doing because they thought that they knew what they were doing. And so everybody was doing this. We even played around a little bit with it in the very beginning of it because I was interested in that technology, and Andy was as well. And we said, well, let's see what the hell this is, see if this actually works. But it didn't take us very long to figure out that a lot of different things could fool this piece of machinery into thinking that there was something there when there wasn't. In some cases, it was insects. In some cases, it was dust. In some cases, it was literally as simple as a coat on a coat rack in the dark. And the computer picked that up as a stick figure, even though it was just a coat. Okay, so that basic idea is what is being utilized in this video to try to be evidence that there are aliens in this video. He's taking a basic outline of a blurry shape, and he is outlining that to make a figure out of it, the same way that the Connect did with a stick figure out of the basic shape to say, hey, this is a ghost. Okay? But many, many times we saw that it wasn't a ghost. And that technology has been pretty much abandoned by any of the serious researchers in the paranormal field. The only people you see using that now are either newbies that have no idea what they're doing, who saw it on an old episode of Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters or Ghost this or Ghost that, right? And so they thought, oh, this is cool, let's do this. But they have no idea that it's already been debunked and disproven. And you have people that might be doing it on TV that don't know what the hell they're doing. You see that a lot now too, where you have a lot of these celebrity ghost shows. Jack Osbourne did one, Portal to Hell. You had Demi Lovato was doing one where she would go and talk to ghosts, and she even had Whitney Cummings on with her on one episode I saw where they went to this place and they were checking for ghosts and all this. And that was actually a fun episode if you haven't seen it. Whitney Cummings, absolutely classic in that episode. It was hilarious. She is an incredibly funny woman anyway. For those who don't know who she is a stand-up comedian and a damn good one. And for those of you that have been with me for a long, long time and you understand who I am and how I think, that's not praise that I throw out very easily. There aren't that many good female stand-up comedians, in my view, that are actually funny. There's a few, but there's not that many. Not that many guys that are really, truly, hilariously funny either. So it's not a sexist thing. It's just there's not that many because there's not as many female comedians. So obviously the ratio is going to be that there's going to be way less because there's way less overall. But Whitney Cummings is a hilarious comedian. I really enjoy her. And in this episode, she was spectacular, man. It was such a good episode. So I don't remember what the hell the show was called. All I remember was that it had Demi Lovato in it and Whitney Cummings. And Whitney Cummings was funny in it. And I enjoyed watching her. Demi was just ridiculous, as usual. But you have that kind of stuff going on. Now, these are people who are celebrities, and they may be very good at whatever the hell they actually do, but they have zero experience in the paranormal at all, really. So they have no idea what they're doing. So you'll see people like that using that kind of technology as well to try to make it look like they know what they're doing or make it look like they belong there, if that makes sense. That's basically what's happening in this alien video, is you have them taking a shape and making the leap and drawing the circles around it and saying this is an alien, even though when we look at it, all it is blurry. I mean, and it's very temporarily blurry too. It's not like it's a blurry shape that is on the screen for a long period of time and moves in a uniform way and turns and moves it around and does all this stuff that we could identify as that is something walking. We can tell by the gait of it that that's something walking. We can tell by the way it moves that that is a biological creature. We don't have that. We have a split second, maybe 1, maybe 2 seconds of this thing on camera. And the one in the background that has like the Mars Attack cloak on, that one you barely see at all. That's just kind of through people's shoulders. You see where he drew the outline of it, and you can't really get a good look at it. The one above the fence, you get a little bit better look, but it's very, very brief, and there's not enough movement to say definitively, okay, this is something. This isn't just a light anomaly. This isn't just, the way the street light is coming down. Maybe somebody was vaping. Maybe somebody was smoking a cigarette right before that. And so you have that kind of in the air reflecting light. Who knows what it could have been? All those things are possibilities. And one thing that good investigators will tell you, and what everybody who wants to be involved in the paranormal needs to understand, is whenever you're dealing with anything like this, you have to be able to go through all of the possibilities. And you always have to be looking for a logical, scientific answer. Okay? Occam's razor. Keep it simple, stupid. The simplest answer, many times, is the correct one. Okay? So if there's a logical, easy answer that explains it, then chances are that might be it. It's definitely going to be more likely to be it than aliens flew here from space and decided to crash, some Mexican's party in Las Vegas and peer over the fence and see what they're cooking. Hey, man, you all got hot dogs in there? Is that very likely? Probably not. I'm not saying it's impossible. Not saying it didn't happen for all you true believers, okay? But you have to take a look at this and be willing to be honest, intellectually honest about it and say, we really don't have anything here. It could be, but we just don't have good enough footage. It's like you could go out and see Bigfoot out in the woods, or think you see Bigfoot, and you could really quickly get your camera up and get 2 seconds of footage before it disappears. And when you watch it back, all you have is a brown blur, like a brownish black blur. You don't have a definitive photograph or definitive video, in this case, of Bigfoot. All you have is a brownish black blur for a very brief time on camera. Now you can say, well, I saw Bigfoot, but when you show the footage, you don't have Bigfoot there. All you have is a brownish black blur. So then you have to break that down and say, what could that be? What exists in the woods that could explain that size, that coloration, everything about that? What can explain it? Well, the obvious answer there would be bear. If you're looking at a brownish black blur that's hard to say, brownish black blur in the woods, 99 times out of 100, it's a bear. Okay? Now, I believe Bigfoot exists. I believe I've seen Bigfoot myself. Okay? I got a very good look at him. It was back in a time before everybody had a cell phone and everything, so there was no way to get any footage of it. And I don't expect you to believe it. I've told the story on the show many, many times. That's my story. That's my encounter. You can believe it if you want, or if you don't, I don't care. That's up to you. That's the beauty of this show, is you're always free to make up your own mind. I don't tell you what to think. I just tell you what I think and what the evidence shows, and then you make up your own mind. In the case of my encounter with Bigfoot, I didn't have any evidence. All I had was eyewitness testimony, my own. I know what I saw, but convincing you of what I saw, it's probably not going to happen, because there's nothing concrete for me to show you that you can say, oh, that is Bigfoot. I can see it, right? Same thing with the picture of the bear. If all you have is a brownish black blur, you don't have any evidence. All you have is a missed opportunity, okay? This thing in Vegas, you don't have any evidence. All you have is a blurry bit of film that could be explained a dozen different ways. that you have some guy saying, this is what it is. And he draws little circles and stuff around it and draws in the outline of the shape of an alien head and the shape of a little Mars attack alien in order to give it more legitimacy, in order for you to say, well, look, you can see it. It's right there. Well, you see it because he outlined it. If he didn't outline it, you never even would have noticed. You know how I know you wouldn't have noticed? Because we've all seen that footage. For like a year or something, since it first happened, that footage has been out. And nobody said, hey, look, there's an alien. You know, people said, I think I see something behind the fence or something moving there, I think. But nobody knew what it was, and nobody could point out any shapes. And definitely nobody said, hey, there's an alien there between those guys' shoulders, and he looks like the aliens off Mars Attacks. How crazy is that somehow a goofy-ass alien movie got it right? Not just what the aliens look like, but even how they dress. How stiff their collars are, what angle they come out at. They even got that right. Nobody was saying that. You had people that want to believe in aliens saying, I think I see something behind that fence. But it was just a blur. A blur and a little bit of possible movement. But it's so quick, and the camera's moving as well. And that's another thing you have to keep in mind. When the camera is moving and panning a scene, that's going to create the illusion of movement where there isn't movement. I'm not saying that's the case here. I'm saying that's a possibility that you have to take into account. So to say, as Old Boy has, and God loves him. I mean, I'm not trying to down the man, even though, you know, he's wrong about Taco Bell. And I got to go back to the Taco Bell just for a second, because he's wrong. That shit's delicious. I first heard him say that, I said, you son of a bitch! That's my Taco Bell. Don't mess with it. But I don't want to down him, but I don't believe that this is any kind of real evidence. I believe that this is a guy who, yes, might have a job doing this kind of stuff, but that still doesn't trump what my eyes can see. You know, I'm not going to allow some guy who's a supposed expert tell me that it's raining outside when he's pissing on my boots. And that's what's happening here in my view. He's taken a blur and possible movement, maybe not, because the camera's panning at the same time. Maybe movement, maybe not. He's taken a blur and he's outlining it and telling me what I should be seeing. And telling me that I have to listen because he's an expert. That the case is closed. The science is settled. We've heard that bullshit before, right? The science is settled. I'm an expert, so I know what's right, and you're not an expert, so you don't know. We've also heard that bullshit before. And how did it turn out? Turned out as complete bullshit, didn't it? Could be in this case too. All I'm saying is, don't just listen to some guy say that because he's supposed to be an expert. Because he may be an expert in determining whether there is any kind of Photoshop job happening or any kind of CGI added in or special effects of any kind. If the video has been altered, that's what he's an expert in. He's not an expert in aliens. He's not an expert in alien cloaking devices. None of that stuff is he an expert in. Okay? So even if we take him at what he is an expert in, what his expertise is, his field, and he says, I can tell you 100%, beyond a shadow of a doubt, there is no CGI added to this footage. There's no Photoshop. There's no special effects. Even if he says that, that still doesn't mean that the blur we're looking at is an alien. And it don't matter what color he draws the outline in. He could draw a little spaceship behind him. He could draw 100 other little aliens behind him. They could be having a barbecue. Maybe they were coming over to borrow some mustard because they're cooking hot dogs over there too, and you got all the damn mustard and they forgot to grab some. And the closest store is light years away. Maybe that's what's going on. If I told you I was an expert and I drew it behind me, would you believe me? Same thing here, man. And I don't mean to impugn this guy either. I don't know who the hell he is. He's some guy that's testified in cases before, and supposedly he's an expert in seeing if footage has been doctored. Okay, I'm willing to say the footage isn't doctored, because if you're going to doctor the footage and add special effects in and everything to try to make it look like there's aliens, you do a better job than this. There's nothing here. It's just some smudges, little blurry spot. I mean, if I'm going to go through all the trouble of putting special effects in something, I'm going to make it look like a damn alien, so that when you look at it, you say, "Shit, man, that's an alien." There ain't no doubt about it. Case closed. But that's not what we have here. We just have some smudge. That's most likely light pollution of some type, and it gives off the illusion of movement because the camera is panning, because the guy is trying to figure out what the hell's going on. So you get a very brief flash of a smudgy looking thing that they claim is cloaked and supposed movement, but you can't tell because the camera's doing all kinds of shit. So that's the science of it. I mean, that's what I think. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. Everybody's afraid of aliens. That's another thing old boy brought up. He said that a lot of people are afraid of them and they're scared to admit that they exist or whatever, right? I'm not afraid of aliens at all. I'm very realistic about aliens. And I've given my view on this show before, but I'll briefly get into it again because I think it warrants a little bit of explanation. In a straight up fight, we're probably screwed. If they have come here with the intention of wiping us out, then we're screwed. Because if they can get here, that means that they have way better technology than we do. And chances are, technology is going to win over superior numbers and fighting spirit. Just ask the Native Americans. They had more people. They had better fighting spirit. They had better tactics in a lot of cases. But they did not have better technology. And they lost. And that's what would happen to us. We'd get wiped out if it was a straight up fight. But I take solace in the fact that I don't think that's why they're here, if they are here. Because if they wanted to take us over and wipe us out, they would just do it. They wouldn't have to be sneaky. They wouldn't have to hide. They wouldn't have to try to do it through subterfuge and get embedded into our government. And they're lying to you about it. None of that is necessary if they want to take us out. They just take us out. Do you try to sneak up on an ant? No. If you want to kill it, you just kill it. Because it's weak and you're strong. You are the superior fighter in that case. So there's no reason to be sneaky. There's no reason to hide. They could literally show up right there in the sky and just plain as day for everybody to see. Open up the door of their UFO. Give us the finger. What are we going to do about it? I mean, yeah, we'll fight, but we won't win if it comes down to it, if that's why they're here. But I don't think that's why they're here. If you look at what's actually going on, if we do have aliens visiting this planet, they are trying to kind of stay in the shadows. They are abducting us little by little and experimenting on us, trying to gather intel, that kind of thing. So I wouldn't go as far as to say they're here to help either, necessarily, because if they were here to help, they would just help. I think they're here on a fact-finding mission. They're here to figure out what the hell makes us tick where we are. And in that kind of case, And in the case, let's say they're here to help. In that case as well, we win. Both of those cases, we can win. And the reason we can win is because we are, how should I say this in a way that's nice, in a way that won't upset anybody? We're kind of sneaky ourselves, bordering on duplicity, to where we will bring you in and we will make you feel comfortable and good about yourself. We're your best buddy in the world. And then we'll cut your throat. That's human beings. That's who we are as a people. That's what we do. We are constantly at war. If we don't have another country to fight, we fight each other. Until somebody else makes a mistake of pissing us off and we go fight them. That's what we do. So our nature is war. So I believe that we would stand a chance if we're not going up against something that is here just to destroy us. Because here's how it would play out. Let's say they come out and they say, we're here. We're here, we're gray, we're not going anywhere, right? We're here, we're gray, we're not going away. And now it's an alienation type of situation, like Old Boy said, that movie and that TV show where they are here on Earth and we know they're here and they're living among us and we just got to coexist. So what's going to happen? Well, one's going to move into your neighborhood, guaranteed. It's what always happens. And you're going to get to know that person. And they're going to think, hey, these humans aren't so bad. Look, they're being really nice to me. You know, they're not savages at all, like everybody said. They're all right. You know, the old Bob there, he goes out and he mows his lawn and he hangs out and has a beer, and he offered me to come over and have a cookout. And we cooking up some burgers and dogs and stuff, man. That was pretty cool. Yeah, these humans are all right. And then maybe we say, hey, man, listen here, Zargon. Me and the boys are going to go out for a couple beers, do a little bowling and drink some beers. You want to come with? Hell, Zargon says, hell, I ain't got nothing better to do. Yeah, I'll come with you. It'll be interesting. See how you guys have fun. So then old Zargot comes out with us. But then what happens? See, old boy, he said something unintentionally brilliant at the end of his little part of the show, right? He said, wouldn't it be cool to have a cloaking device? If we could get our hands on one of those, how cool would that be? Remember that thing that he did? That right there, that exact spirit is why they're screwed. If they spend any time with us, if they don't wipe us out right away, we're going to win. And that's why. Because no matter how well-intentioned they think we are, no matter how much we get along with them, we're still different. And human beings are very good at hiding their true intentions. They're very good at making you feel safe and comfortable right before they pounce. So what's going to happen is old Zargot's going to go out with the boys, probably a bunch of rednecks, most likely, because they're not going to be hanging out in the city, because they're already overcrowded. They're going to want to be where they can study people and animals and all kinds of stuff, spread out a little bit. So they might go out with a bunch of rednecks. Then what's going to happen to them? Well, we're going to all go bowling or something, and we're going to hit the bar afterwards, and we're going to be knocking some back, drinking. The rednecks can hold their liquor. So we'll be drinking beer, we'll be drinking Jack, we'll be just having a good old time. And old Zargot's going to get drunker and drunker and drunker. Now see, Zargot probably hadn't had a whole lot of earth alcohol. And for a lot of people, when they have their first time, it's silly at first, where they're laughing and playing and having fun. And then they reach that point where they're too drunk. And it comes quick. And if you ain't a pro, if you ain't been doing it all your life, you're not going to recognize it when it approaches. Then old Zargot's going to start feeling not so good, probably. Oh, I don't feel so good. Everything's kind of spinning. I'm a little too drunk. Now it's not fun anymore. Now it's scary. Especially if you never experienced it before. Now this is assuming, of course, that alcohol affects them in any kind of way like it affects us, right? So he starts feeling not so good, and then what happens when a redneck drinks too much? We go past that fun stage. We don't get to the sixth stage. We go straight to the whoop your ass stage. So then them rednecks will start looking at old Zargot and saying, you know what? Hey Zargot, why don't you let me hold that cloaking device? Let's play with that a little bit. Let's see what that does. Come on, man. Well, you don't trust me? What do you think I'm going to do? That's an insult. You say you don't trust me, Zargot. Don't make me whoop your ass. I just want to see it. Hey, man, why don't you let me drive that flying saucer? Come on, brother. That'd be fun, man. Let's do it. What's going to happen? I'm a great driver. I can drive anything, man. I drive my truck. I drive an 18-wheeler. I can drive a forklift. I can drive an excavator. I can drive any damn thing with wheels. What? I know your spaceship don't have wheels. What, you call me stupid? You think just because I'm from the South I'm dumb? Come on, Zargot, man. I'm your buddy. It's me. Now, for a drunk person, that shit starts to make sense. And he don't have the experience with alcohol, and he don't have the experience with rednecks to know that's a trap. That we do not have Zargot's best interest in mind. We want to get into that spaceship and fly around. We want to get a hold of that cloaking device. We want to have a little fun. Blow off some steam. That's the way it'll go down. And if you've ever seen a bunch of rednecks drunk, hell, we fight each other. Just because it's fun. I am 100% capable of going out partying with my buddies and getting in one hell of a bar fight. And beating the hell out of each other. And then later on that night, we're laughing and playing and having fun again. But Zargot, he's not used to that. Because the truth about any kind of alien species is most likely it's not going to be a warlike species. Because warlike species don't develop the technology to travel here. Only peaceful type civilizations are going to get that technologically advanced where they can come here. Because warlike civilizations are too busy fighting each other. They're too busy using their ingenuity and their big brains to create stronger and better weapons that can get through the stronger, better defenses that their other big brains have come up with. So they're in this arms race with each other, trying to develop a better shield or a better sword. Where a peaceful civilization is instead trying to develop technology that can make life better for its citizens. Develop technology that can save the lives of its citizens. Technology that enables them to explore the cosmos. Warlike civilizations, not so much. Any kind of science they're doing is usually geared towards the military in one way or the other. How do we make a better bomb? How do we make something that can stop that better bomb? So if they're not a warlike species, And I don't think they are because, one, they wouldn't be here if they were. And two, they haven't wiped us out. If they're here, why haven't they done anything? If they're a warlike species, that means they have a basic understanding of tactic, right? It would logically follow that if you're that much more advanced than the people you're trying to conquer, you don't have anything to fear. Just conquer us already. Why are they not doing it? Either they don't want to, or they're not capable of it. But see, we are a warlike civilization. It's in our blood. It's what we do. It's what we do for entertainment, just for fun. Look at all the things that we enjoy watching. Wrestling, boxing, football. All of our sports are just war. That's all it is. It's the same thing. Look at football. Your quarterback is your general. He's leading his troops into battle. They have to advance and gain ground in order to score and beat the enemy. It's just like war. It's the same thing. It's just a game. But it's the same principles. Let's say you got people that aren't athletic. Okay, let's not even look at sport. Let's look at other leisurely activities. Chess. Let's look at chess, the most intellectual of all of our pursuits, right? What is chess? It is a battlefield. There's a reason why all of the great generals study chess at West Point. It's because chess teaches you strategy and tactics on the battlefield, how to maneuver your assets in order to take the assets of the enemy and eventually take out their leadership and win. It's all war. Everything we do is geared towards it. Look what we do as little kids. Do we all get together and play war peace? No, we don't play world peace. We get together and we play war. We take our toy guns and we shoot at each other with them. Back in my day, we used to play cowboys and Indians, where one group of friends would be the Indians, one group of friends would be the cowboys, and you just try to kill each other. Things were different when I was young. It wasn't politically correct. That didn't exist. And it wasn't safe in any way. We would throw darts at each other, dude. Like, darts you throw at a dartboard? We'd have dart wars, where literally you'd have a handful of darts and you'd be running around chucking them at your friends, trying to get them to stick in them. We had things called lawn darts in the 70s, which is the same thing as a dart you throw at a dartboard, but way bigger, like a spear. And you would just chuck that damn thing way up in the air and try to get it to land in a ring. And basically all you would do is throw it way up in the air and then everybody would scatter and run because, oh my God, there's a freaking spear coming down from the sky. Gotta get the hell out the way. That's how we grew up. Everything we do, cradle to grave, is geared towards war. It's geared towards violence. It's geared towards winning any battle we're in. Whether it's business, whether it's your career, whether it is any pursuit you're in, that's what competition is. That's why men are so competitive. Because we are raised to win. And all of that is so that we'll be better soldiers, so that we'll win in war. So old Zargot, I guarantee you he ain't got that. He doesn't understand that I could knock his ass out and be best buddies with him later, because it ain't nothing but a thing. No big deal. To him, that's probably a completely foreign thing. And that's why they'll lose. Because we'll just take advantage of them, man. That's just the truth of it. We'll lure them in, make them feel safe, make them feel loved, make them feel happy, and sucker punch the shit out of them. Because we know they're more technologically advanced than we are. So if you give us a chance and you don't wipe us out right away, it's going to be guerrilla warfare. That's the way it's going to go down. I mean, yeah, you're going to have all types in this world. I mean, not everybody is like me. Not everybody's a redneck. Not everybody has any kind of military experience. Not everybody's going to be ready. You're going to have your liberal hippie types as well that are going to be out protesting for the aliens that are trying to kill us. I guarantee that they do it all the time now. Dumbass people. They'll be out there, alien rights, while they're like vaporizing us. You'll have that kind of shit too. But what'll happen is what always happens in times of war. The real men will push them idiots aside and do what needs to be done. That's why we'll win. That's the way I see it. Kind of got way, way, way far away from what we were originally talking about, I guess. Still talking about aliens. So it's still kind of close. But it's not exactly what we were talking about. That's okay, right? Doesn't matter. All right. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. I've probably done 40 minutes, 45 minutes. I don't know what time it is. But I've been talking for a while. So I reckon it's probably plenty. Let me know down in the comments section what you guys think. As always, up to you to make up your own mind. Old boy mentioned We're Screwed. That's probably coming back. It's a pretty cool show. For those that have been here for a long, long time and remember that show, you guys know how fun it was. Basically, it's a no-hold-barred, just all-out fun time. You know, say whatever the hell you want. No censorship, no rules. You know, you're going to get, I mean, you get honesty on staring, but you also get a little bit of trying to keep it down a little bit. You know, you got to keep it down a little bit because the old folks are sleeping, right? That's kind of the way it works. You got the old folks that run stuff, and you got to keep it down because if you get too rowdy, you upset them, and then they freak out, they piss their pants. Especially if somebody like complains about something. That's the worst thing in the world. If somebody complains, oh my God, then everybody freaks out. Oh, you had somebody complain. I don't give a shit. So what? So what? Who cares if they complain? You know what that means? It means that they're listening. Because they couldn't complain about what I said if they weren't listening to what I said. That equals more people listening. Controversy is good sometimes. You know, now, controversy for the sake of controversy isn't. You know, just going out there and trying to be outrageous so that people get upset is not what we do. But having a real, honest conversation where you can actually say what's on your mind instead of having to self-censor yourself all the time. So that, you know, the liberals don't get all scared and upset. Oh, what you said was sexist. What you said was this. What you said was that. I've heard it all. You know, I've been doing this a long, long time, man. We started with Revolution Radio. We went through We're Screwed. We went through doing Staring. I mean, we've done this a long time. And I've had a lot of people say a lot of stuff. And it doesn't matter. I'm still here. I'm still doing it. The world didn't end. It's going to be okay. Chill out. You know? The truth of the matter is, you're going to have people that complain sometimes. There's people that are going to say dumb shit, that don't understand what you're saying, and they don't even try to understand what you're saying. They are just perpetually stupid and can't understand what you're saying sometimes, and that's the truth. Now, if you can understand that, that means you're not one of the people that's perpetually stupid, so calm the fuck down. Relax. We're all adults. There's no reason we can't have a conversation without everybody freaking the hell out. Chill. So, We're Screwed will be coming back. Right now, it'll be on YouTube. It'll be on Spotify. It'll be on Rumble. I doubt that it'll be on the radio. I doubt that we'll be doing it with Para X. Not that I wouldn't want to. I love Para X. I love them people, man. They're really nice people. They've always been good to us. They're wonderful. I love them to death. And hey, Para X, call me, baby. Call me. If you want to do it, we can do it, but realize what it's going to be. So don't freak out. If you say you want to do it and we do it, that's great. I'm all for it. But people will complain once in a while because we're going to say some outlandish shit. That's just the nature of the beast. It's not going to be outlandish just to be outlandish. It'll be in context of the points that we're making, and we will be having a real conversation. And it will be how whoever's talking actually feels, and it'll be backed up by something. It won't be just saying outlandish crap just to freak people out. That's not what we do. But if you do want it on your platform, call me. You don't even call anymore, really. You can tell I'm an old dude, man, because I'm like, call me, right? Nobody calls anybody anymore. They message on the messenger thing for Facebook. You know what the hell I'm talking about? That little stupid chat thing that pops up on my damn phone all the time. Ding, 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 ding. My wife showed me how to turn that ding, ding shit off, so it don't ding, ding, ding anymore, which is glorious. That means I have to go in every once in a while and actually check and make sure I'm not missing too much. So I'll check it every couple of days and make sure that the world hasn't gone on fire. But it used to go ding, 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 ding constantly. And because I work with people all over the country and all over the world sometimes, all hours of night, ding, 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 ding. It can only ding, ding, ding in the middle of the night so many times before your wife rolls over and says, if you don't turn that damn thing off, I swear to God, I'm going to crush it. And you're like, yeah, I better turn that sumbitch off. But see, I didn't know how to turn it off. So I had to say, honey, can you show me how to make this thing stop going ding, 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 ding? I come from a time where, like, I remember when the VHS tape came out. I was over in Germany at the time. And over in Germany, it wasn't VHS that was popular. It was Beta. I don't know if you guys remember Betamax. It was just like VHS, but it was a lot smaller. And they were called Betamax machines. And that's what we had over in Germany. And it was brilliant because you could literally pop a blank tape in and record anything you wanted off TV. It was awesome. So a movie would come on you just push record and you could record it and then you could watch it whenever the hell you wanted. And that was brilliant. That didn't exist before. And it was mind-blowing. Like, I own this now, dude. I can literally watch this 100 times in a row if I want to. And nobody can stop me. This is amazing. And then we moved back stateside because we were over at Ramstein Air Force Base. And then we moved back here to the States. And all of a sudden, you couldn't find Beta nowhere. Like, I couldn't even buy blank tapes to record anymore. So we had to go out and buy an actual VHS machine because they didn't have Beta here at the time. Now, it came later. The hipster type people started going, hey, what is this Beta thing we've heard about? That sounds cool. Let's check that out. It's so European, right? So it eventually came to the United States. But when we first came back stateside, it wasn't any Beta at all in the United States to find. And if there was, I couldn't find the damn stuff. And I looked. So we ended up buying a VHS, and it did the same thing. I don't remember what the hell my point was. Oh, yeah, my wife making the ding, ding, ding stuff. Told you, I'm getting old, guys. You think I'm bullshitting. I'm not bullshitting. I'm getting old. So I'm not up with all the technology. I like to say sometimes I am a high-tech redneck, but I'm not too high-tech. I do all this. I do the shows and I do the editing and do the special effects for the shows, all the stuff. But I had to learn how to do all that stuff. I didn't know how to do it in the beginning, and some things still I don't know how the hell they work. So it's learn as I go, right? Life's an adventure. Anyway, man, this is a long ass show. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you look out for We're Screwed. That's going to be a hell of a lot of fun, and if you've never experienced We're Screwed, you're in for a treat because it's an interesting show. We talk about anything and everything. You're going to have politics, you're going to have religion, you're going to have wrestling, you're going to have entertainment, just whatever the hell we feel like talking about. Maybe I really screwed up, and man, is my wife pissed at me today. Maybe I'll talk about that. Who knows what the hell we're going to talk about every day? It's just whatever we feel like talking about at the time. And it's always interesting. It's always fun. And there's no time limit. We just go and just have a hell of a good time. So, love you guys. Appreciate you guys. And I'll catch you on the next one. But first, see, I've told you, I'm getting old. I'm not bullshitting, guys. I got to throw over to Old Boy because he's got to do his sum up and wrap up and all that jazz. And then I'll be back to do the whole spiel. Love you. Old Boy, rescue me.
I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We talked about it like 7 months ago when it happened, so I'm glad we got to see more evidence. I've been waiting for it. Like I said, you guys want to watch us on ParaX Radio every Sunday nights, 12 a.m. Eastern, 9 Pacific in the West Coast. The Best of Show, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, West Coast. You can listen to us on Spotify, YouTube. I think it's on Cloud. We're on everything other than iTunes. You can check us out on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, anything. Just look us up. We'll be there. You want merchandise, shirts, all kinds of cool stuff. And like being said in the show, we might bring back something great. We're Screwed. And what We're Screwed was the first show I ever did myself after doing Revolution Radio that was very popular on Mixlr. Then I started doing We're Screwed, and we kind of went away from it, from the paranormal. We're still always going to do Staring in the Abyss. But We're Screwed is very popular still. People have been asking for it. It's a very controversial show that I used to do with James Hershey, Tammy G, and Ant-Man was the original members. And then they went away, and Gage and Eric Wickman, originally from Revolution, was in it, and they're gone. And now we're going to bring probably our friend back into it, Andy. So we're going to have 3 people. And it's going to be very fun, a very different show. We'll talk about what we talk about now, but it's going to be fucking very controversial, just like it was before. That being said, you guys have a good fucking night. Love you. Blessed be.
Thank you, brother. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Let me know down in the comment section what you think. As always, up to you to make up your own mind. I'm not going to go through a whole bunch of stuff because, man, we've been talking a long time. Love you. Appreciate you. And I'll catch you on the next one. Till I speak to you again. Love many, trust few, and do harm to none. God loves you, and so do we. Bye-bye.